Hello, I'm Linda Ann Smith, and this is part 2 of Recycled Magazine Tree. In part 1, I showed you how to weave this tree out of paper tubes. Today we'll explore embellishing the tree. I used a brush and coated the tree with white DecoArt gesso. DecoArt's gesso is a very heavy-bodied gesso, and it's very opaque. One coat is all I put on this. But now I'm going to take the gesso and go back and touch up some of the areas that I missed. You don't have to completely cover the tree, but it's going to help the next layer show up better if I have the areas covered that I want covered. As I said, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I used this stiff bristled brush that I usually use with acrylics to go in between some of the folds that just didn't look quite as nice as I wanted them to. Leaving it as magazine pages has some definite advantages because you can't see all of the little imperfections. I'll list my video, my part 1 below, but I also want to give credit to Shannon Green because she has a video out there making these trees and she really does a nice job. It's much more perfect than mine. She must be more patient. I'll give this a few minutes to dry. I'm using DecoArt's Americana multi-surface satins today to paint this tree. I chose the colors apple green, turquoise waters, which I love, and soft jade. These are all cool colors, close to each other on the color wheel, and make a nice combination together. I poured a little of each of these colors out on a plate so that I could mix them if I want to. I chose the soft jade to go between the spirals that go up the tree, and I'm going to fill in as much as I can with this soft jade all the way to the top, but the weaving gets much closer together at the very top, so I'll probably have to just accent some of the top areas with this color. I thought maybe the soft jade was just a little too soft for my taste, so I added some of the apple green to it. I didn't worry about the color mixing. I just went back and forth between the apple green and soft jade, and I was pleased with the results. Did you notice there that this color got onto the spirals also? But that's not going to matter because in a few minutes I'm going to use this turquoise water and go over the spirals, and that'll hide it. I'm not worried about being that particular anyway because these colors are so close to each other on the color wheel that it's not going to make a big difference. I gave that last coat of paint a short drying time, and now I'm ready to put on the spirals this turquoise waters. And I just turn it and brush it, kind of like dry brushing all along the spiral areas. Of course, when I get to the top, I'm going to mix it in with the other colors that I already have up there. My DecoArt paints will definitely need time to dry between this step and the next step that I'm going to do. Okay, the paint's all dry, so I'm taking the Stampability's ink pad embossing pad. It's clear, and I'm going to use it to emboss with Zing embossing powder, and this is a turquoise color. Embossing with powders is new to me. It's one of the few aisles at the craft stores that I haven't invested real estate in, so I'm gonna try some techniques that seem like they would work to me. Here I'm rubbing the embossing pad over the Christmas tree, just letting it catch the edges, and we'll learn together on this one because I don't know exactly what I'm doing. I'm gonna put my Christmas tree down into this Ziploc bag and sprinkle the embossing powder down inside to catch the excess that spills over. Now I'll sprinkle the embossing powder all up and down the tree, letting what falls down from the top catch on some of the sides of the bottom areas. I do know that if I get an excess of powder in one place, I can take a brush and wipe that away. I'll kind of zip up this bag right now and do a little bit of shaking to get some of that glitter on, not glitter, it's embossing powder, but it looks like glitter on some of the bottom where it didn't catch. And now I'll tap it off and bring it out, and oh my, there is quite a bit on there. I'll brush a little of this away. And here's lesson number 1 that I learned. The embossing powder sticks to your non-stick mat. It doesn't really stick to it, but it's kind of hard to get off, so I had to take it to the sink and rinse it off to get it out. Get it off of the mat. Using my embossing heat tool here to adhere the embossing powder. And while I'm heating the embossing powder, I'll tell you about lesson number 2 that I learned. Lesson number 2 is that plastic bag that I used to catch the excess. Well, it kind of had some static on it, so embossing powder sticks to static. I already knew this from watching YouTube videos, but did I think of that before I used it? No. So I wasn't quite as thrifty about saving my embossing powder as I thought I was going to be. I got most of it back, but some of it clung to the bag and just wouldn't come out. Well, I always enjoy learning about a new media, so I've learned some lessons this time. Hobby Lobby had their Christmas things on sale, and this was $1.59 to begin with, but at half price, it made a pretty inexpensive decoration for my tree because I can pull all these little pieces apart and they have little stems on them, and I can stick them in the holes in between the tree, dab a little glue on, and I'm set to go. I'm going to see what a branch would look like with several on it on the top. I start with 3, but I'm going to actually twist 4 of these together to make a tree topper and see what that looks like. Here it is all twisted together, and I'm going to push it down in the very top part of the tree. I'm aware that hot glue would probably work best here, but I'm using Elmer's because where I'm doing my work, it's hard to have access to outlets. Add a little glue right where the embellishments are going to sit and push them deep down. I bent this stem up so that it would go down because something seemed to stop it when I tested it. And push that down in, let the glue touch, and let it dry. That looks so good that I think I'm going to use the rest of these little glittery bulbs to embellish the tree because I have lots of mistakes. I have areas where there's great big gaps and where I didn't really pull the tubes up efficiently. So this is going to disguise some of that. I seriously doubt that anybody else would really notice it once I had it up for decorations, but I know it. See these big holes? I want to cover them. As long as whatever I do to embellish the tree improves it, it's a win-win. And in addition, each layer of product that you add to a tree like this, anything made of paper, is going to just make it stronger. So any glue I add anywhere is going to make it a stronger project. I'm finishing these up, and I have decided that I like this just like it is, and I'm not going to make it shiny. I was thinking about that. If you want a shiny tree, I suggest that you use DecoArt's Triple Thick. It comes in brush on and spray on, and I don't know how I lived without it before I discovered it. If I had left this in the magazine stage with all the magazine colors showing, I would definitely have put a coat of Triple Thick on the outside. Here's the finished product. I'm so happy that I was able to make something out of something that was going to be thrown away. Recycling, upcycling, those words are just gold to me. And with the help of DecoArt's paints that go on just like butter and go a long ways, a little bit goes a long ways, I was able to make this tree, this decoration for my Christmas season. I've been able to find DecoArts also in all the craft stores in my area. So check them out. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you'll like, subscribe, share, and comment. Thank you for watching. Come back soon, and Merry Christmas.